Peter attends his high school reunion, feeling unsure but reassured by familiar faces like Liz Osborne and his old teacher, Mr. Warren. Introducing Mary Jane, he realizes he's enjoying himself, acknowledging both good and bad memories. Peter arrives with Mary Jane, impressing his classmates. While some admire him, others question his teaching career. He finds it odd how many act like old friends, though he barely remembers them. Peter reflects on his tough high school years, while Liz reminisces about lighter times. He admits he might want better memories. They recall past chaos, and Liz calls him the only normal person she knows. Peter hesitates to join a group photo, but Mary Jane convinces him. At the courts, old classmates joke with him and bring up Flash Thompson's absence due to his accident. They suggest doing something fun to cheer him up, challenging Peter to join. Peter senses trouble as a figure swings silently through the night. Facing his classmates' teasing, he warns them he's not the same, standing his ground with confidence while the figure closes in. Venom crashes through the wall with terrifying force, debris scattering in all directions as his monstrous form looms over the scene. He lunges forward, grabbing Peter and slamming him through the rubble. Peter crashes into the wall, groaning as debris falls. He scrambles up, pleading with Venom, calling him Eddie to stop before more people get hurt. But the new Venom corrects him. Eddie's gone. Angelo Fortunato is here to make his mark. A bystander realizes Peter is Spider-Man, but before he can react, Angelo crushes his head. Venom looms over the fallen, his gaze locked on Peter as he growls, "Starting with you." Peter crashes through the tiled walls with Venom, struggling as debris flies around. He grimly notes this isn't his first life-or-death fight in the school showers. Peter struggles against his attacker, quickly realizing this isn't the Venom he once knew. The symbiote's new host, Angelo Fortunato, is a gangster's son who bought the suit at a supervillain auction. As Peter fights back, he reflects on how the old Venom, despite his twisted code, would never have killed innocent civilians. He dons his mask, preparing to face the fight head-on, noting that high school bullies were tougher than this. Spider-Man crashes through the school reunion with Venom in tow, shattering walls and sending debris flying. As chaos erupts, Mary Jane stays composed, instructing Liz to trigger the fire alarm and evacuate the building. Meanwhile, Peter tries to lead the battle outside, determined to minimize the damage. Spider-Man manages to pull the fight outside, but the new Venom is relentless, reacting instinctively to the symbiote's influence. As Peter struggles to keep up, he realizes his opponent is far larger and stronger than expected. Inside, Mary Jane and the other guests scramble to evacuate, lamenting how chaos always seems to follow them. Spider-Man struggles against Venom's overwhelming strength, dodging brutal attacks while trying to keep civilians safe. His spider sense alerts him to multiple dangers: the panicked crowd, a barking dog in the chaos, and a nearby gas truck that could turn the fight catastrophic. The truck driver shouts an alarm and holds the steering wheel tighter. As the gas truck veers out of control, Spider-Man swiftly rescues a nearby dog from the impending explosion, cradling it safely as flames erupt behind him. Spider-Man hands the dog to a grateful bystander, warning them to get to safety. As Spider-Man prepares to counter, Fortunato taunts him, mocking his career as a mere high school teacher. He expresses disbelief, having expected Spider-Man to be something greater like a cop or a Navy SEAL, only to be disappointed by the man behind the mask. Spider-Man's senses flare as Venom hurls a truck straight at him. Reacting swiftly, he smashes through the windshield and pulls the driver to safety just in time. The truck collides with a nearby wall, sending debris flying while onlookers watch in shock. Spider-Man ensures the driver is unharmed before turning his focus back to the fight. Venom escapes as the crowd watches and Spider-Man swings into action. Peter reminds himself that Angelo is just a kid trying to impress his father. Despite his inexperience, Angelo has quickly mastered the symbiote's abilities, including blocking Spider-Man's senses. Spider-Man tries to reason with Angelo, warning him that the symbiote only feeds on hate and will eventually betray him like it did Eddie Brock. He reminds Angelo of the innocent classmate he killed, questioning if he wants to be remembered as a murderer. Angelo, however, dismisses the concern, determined to make his mark by killing Spider-Man. Angelo, desperate to prove himself, lands a powerful blow on Spider-Man. Angelo stands victorious, convinced he's accomplished what villains like the Green Goblin and Dr. Doom never could, defeating Spider-Man. He triumphantly declares his victory, believing he's earned his father's approval. Not done yet, Spider-Man recovers and lands a powerful punch, sending Angelo crashing into a brick wall with a painful impact. As debris falls around him, Angelo struggles to regain his footing, but Spider-Man doesn't give him a chance. With another decisive blow, he launches Angelo through the air, slamming him into a nearby water tower. Spider-Man continues his relentless assault on Angelo. He condemns him for using his newfound power to kill people. Despite Spider-Man's attacks, the symbiote urges Angelo to fight back, insisting he is stronger and capable of taking Spider-Man down with a single punch. However, Angelo's fear starts to overwhelm him, causing the symbiote to struggle to maintain control. As Spider-Man lands another hit, the symbiote attempts to refocus Angelo, warning him that his fear is jeopardizing their fight. As Spider-Man continues his relentless attacks, Angelo panics, realizing he's no match for him and regretting ever listening to the symbiote. The symbiote, frustrated with Angelo's weakness, urges him to fight back or face the consequences. Angelo reflects on his father's perpetual disappointment, seeing this failure as just another in a long line. However, the symbiote declares Angelo's true problem is that he lacks enough Venom. Abruptly, the symbiote abandons him, deeming him even more pathetic than Eddie Brock, leaving Angelo helpless and free-falling through the air. As Angelo plummets from the building, Spider-Man desperately reaches out, urging him to go limp to lessen the impact. However, with only one web shooter functioning after the fight and his web fluid depleted, he realizes he's out of options. Meanwhile, a woman below, holding a melon, watches in shock as she witnesses the horrifying scene. The melon slips from her hands and shatters on the ground. 1 hour later, Angelo's father arrives with his men, looking oddly proud despite his son's fate. Meanwhile, Spider-Man reflects on Eddie Brock, who tried to make amends but ended up unleashing his worst self. Now a monster without a conscience, now cutting his own wrists. With Angelo's death being the third caused by the Bugle's bounty, Spider-Man knows he must act fast to stop it before more people die. Peter meets with Jonah at the Daily Bugle, insisting on privacy before revealing photos of Spider-Man. Jonah agrees, eager for the scoop. Peter shows images of Spider-Man at home and claims to have his identity. When Jonah demands a name, Peter delivers a shocking blow. Spider-Man is Jonah's son, John Jameson. Jonah is left stunned, staring at the evidence. Jonah is shocked to learn his son, John, is Spider-Man. Peter claims they had a deal. John posed while Peter took photos. Jonah struggles to believe it, recalling past rescues. Peter convinces him John hid the truth to protect him. Jonah, overwhelmed, agrees not to publish the photos. Jonah refuses to give Peter the full prize money, citing the anonymous donor's intent and claiming he needs compensation for the trauma of discovering his son is Spider-Man. Peter insists he doesn't want half the money, but Jonah shuts him down, offering 10% instead. As Peter leaves, Jonah sits alone, contemplating everything he's learned.